snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys! So I am here today to do a book review, and the book that I am going to be reviewing is The Rithmatist by Brandon Sanderson. This book has been on my TBR for a long time. I've had it for a while and I've wanted to pick it up for ages, but I just never got the chance. And then when I went on holiday, I actually picked this up and really whizzed through it and just really enjoyed it. So this is Brandon Sanderson's YA or children's fiction. It's not an adult book like many of his are, but that was just so interesting and cool to me, and I really like YA and children's fiction, so I thought that I would definitely give this a go. Also, the magical system in this sounded really cool. It was all to do with animating chalk and giving it a life, and basically making pictures made out of chalk come to life and be animated and just be able to do things. And I love art. I'm a creative person. I obviously studied graphic design at uni, and this just sounded like a really cool book to me, so I was really excited to pick this up and give it a go. I was definitely not disappointed. I know that a lot of people thought that it wasn't as complex as it could have been, or it wasn't as developed as it could have been, and that the ending was a little bit abrupt. I would agree that there were definitely areas that could have been more explained, or there was definitely a storyline that could have had more detail put into it. But because it's a YA book, I went into it with the mentality of judging it against other YA books, and I think that's definitely how you've got to go into this, because if you go into it expecting it to be as complex and intricate as his other novels, you're definitely not going to be pleased with it, because it's not as good in complexity, but it is as good in entertainment value, and I really love the entertainment value of this. It's told from the point of view of Joel. Joel is basically a young boy who goes to the Armedius Academy, and he studies his lessons there, and he basically lives there. And it's set in this world where it's basically America has been divided into loads of different islands. Inside there is this map which is really, really cool, and it is all of the different islands, and it's quite old worldy. It's set in sort of the 1800s, and it does have a little bit of a steampunk feeling. There is lots of cool machinery, and there are interesting things that happen to do with that, but that is definitely taking a back seat to the actual storyline. I felt like it was just so interesting to read this, and I loved the magical system. Obviously magical systems are Brandon Sanderson's strong point, and that is one thing that I absolutely adore in books, hence why he's one of my favourite authors. But this one I just really connected with because it was so artistic and fun, but it also had a lot of mathematics and geometry sort of involved as well, so that was definitely a twist, and that was something I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy. Inside the book there are illustrations such as this one, which are really, really cool, and they basically explain all the different magical systems within the story. Nebraska, which is the centre island. This one is where the wild chalklings live, and basically the people of this world have been fighting against the wild chalklings for years, and they are evil and nasty, and they basically can crawl up inside your skin and devour you, and things like that. So yeah, it's a little bit violent in parts, definitely. I would not say that this is for young readers, however I do think it has the witty and whimsical feeling of a young children's book, so that's a strange mix. So we have our main character Joel, who is a part of the academy. He studies there, and he's not actually a Rithmatist, who is someone who can animate chalk drawings, but he is super interested in Rithmatics, and he just loves the idea of it. He thinks it's really, really cool. He wants to know everything he can about it, and that's because his father, when he was alive, was also really, really interested in the art of Rithmatics, and he was just really, really excited about the whole thing all the time. And even though he cannot actually animate any of his drawings, he is just so interested in it that he has studied all the different defences, and he loves sneaking into the classes of the Rithmatists to kind of hear their lectures, and he's just really so interested and passionate about this. And that was a lovely thing to see. Unfortunately, of course, he can't actually work this power, but he kind of meets some people, and it kind of turns into a little bit of a crime novel. There are aspects of crime thrillers in this because it is sort of a detective story when students start to go missing and people think it's to do with Rithmatics or a Rithmatist. Joel somehow gets mixed up in it all, and it's a big kind of detective adventure story, and I really, really enjoyed it. As I said, there was mathematical proportion and geometry which was included in the sort of system, but I actually really enjoyed it, and I just found that it was so interesting and captivated my attention really well. And it was a really short read, which Brandon Sanderson is usually fairly long, so this was a bit of a short read for me. I definitely agree with people that the ending was quite abrupt and that there were a few flaws with the ending, but I feel like in book 2 hopefully that's going to be explained a lot more, and we're going to see a lot more about why it was sort of cut off like that and why we don't really get a full explanation, because there is a massive cliffhanger at the end and it kind of hints at a lot more to come. And I do know that Brandon Sanderson is currently writing the second book of this series, so hopefully that won't be too long in the making, and when that comes out I will no doubt be picking it up and hopefully really enjoy it. So yeah, definitely let me know what you guys thought of this. I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 star rating. I thought it was really, really fun and whimsical and just enjoyable, and I love the systems of magic as always. So yeah, I just really enjoyed it, and I would love to know what you guys thought of it. I would love to know if you want to read it. Please do let me know, and I will chat to you guys really soon in my next video. Bye! Me and you gonna have a little